Hey guys, what is up? It is Dallas Gordon here, and I wanted to come back with another live because I said I would come back. So today we are talking about how to start a subscription business in 2021. I get a whole lot of questions about this topic. Hey, Fancy Impress. Hey, son. What is up, son? So look, I always forget to put my lips on. So at the beginning of every video, live video, I feel like I find myself put my lips on. Not that it makes much of a difference because it's like the same color as my skin. But anyway, thanks, wonderful. Thanks so much. This is what I call first day hair. I never like first day hair. I always like to sleep on it first so I can really get the big bush. But is what it is, and we are here and we are ready. So I wanted to jump in here and do this live stream, guys, because lots of people have been asking me, DMing me, messaging me, and commenting on videos, asking for more information regarding subscription boxes. So I have put together 10 steps for you to get started with your box. Okay, so I don't want to waste a lot of time with small talk. I know this is like lunchtime for some of you. I'm just kind of jumping in here. So I want to get right into the tips. So there are plenty other videos on this channel about subscription boxes. If you're wondering like whether or not a box business is for you, there are plenty of videos about that kind of stuff. I really want to work hard to stay on topic because y'all know your girl can talk and I can get off topic very easily. So let's get right into 10 steps to get started. Of course, there are lots of steps and there's lots to unpack regarding subscription boxes. But we are going to focus on 10 steps that I have put together for you today to make this happen. So let's get started with number one. Brainstorming is going to be the first step of the process. Okay, you are going to need to put your ideas down on paper. I always tell my clients it starts on paper, and I live by that. I believe that. I have several journals all over my house. Of course I do, right? Because my box is called the journal junk box, right? But I have plenty of journals. I'm definitely obsessed with journaling. I love to put my thoughts down on paper because I have so many of them that need to be written down. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is brainstorm. And just to kind of give you a couple of questions that you can ask yourself to kind of get the brainstorming started. Number one would be, what is your passion? So, what are you most passionate about? I know that in the entrepreneurial circle and in a lot of these circles and in the world today, people tell you not to follow your passion. But I will say that following your passion is very important. So, you want to ask yourself what you're passionate about because whatever your idea is for your subscription box, it really does need to be something that you're interested in because this is a business model that you're kind of going to be stuck with. So who wants to run a business? And I think I can share this, guys. Hold on. Before I finish, let me go ahead and share this broadcast out a couple places. Guess I'll share it on Facebook, huh? Real quick, and then I'll be back. Let me do that real quick. I'll share to my story and to my feed because I forget sometimes to share. I just start talking and I forget to share. Okay, here I go. So you don't want to get stuck with a business model that you're not interested in, or take it from me, I've done it quite a few times where I have actually done businesses that I wasn't all that crazy about. Like the biggest joke was my first, these little squiggly, see how they do? First day hair, they're in the way, right? So one of the biggest jokes was when I started a clothing and jewelry store. I sold very light clothing, but mainly jewelry. When I'm not really a jewelry person, I'm very basic when it comes to jewelry. It pains me like to buy costume jewelry and stuff. I'm like a real jewelry girl, and I like my pieces to be very basic. So I'm not big on like big bulky costume jewelry. Never really have been, but then I had a jewelry store where I was selling a lot of that kind of stuff. So I really wasn't like totally into fashion items. So how would I have a whole store where I had to like show people fashion items and really be good at selling fashion items? So I did do well, but I fell out of love with it really quick and it just wasn't interesting to me. So just think about that before you dive into a subscription box business. This is a type of business where you are going to have subscribers. So you're going to want to hang in there for the long haul. And you're not going to want to be having businesses, y'all, where you can't keep up with the business because it's just something you're not interested in. So that's something to think about. Another question that you want to ask yourself is, what would make my life, or not my life, but what would make my potential subscriber's life more easy, more fun, more convenient, right? You want to provide a box to your subscribers that would make their life better. Okay, so good ideas fix problems. Okay, so a problem of theirs could be, oh, I'm locked in the house a lot. And, I don't have enough journals to write with. Every month, I feel like I'm running out of a journal and I'm going back to Ross. So I'm going back to Home Goods or wherever the stores are in your area and getting a new journal. So, how can I fix that? How can I make women feel more loved? How can I help women to take more time for themselves? Right. So, this is what my thinking was when I was starting my subscription box business. And what can your thinking be for your particular industry? How can you put a smile on someone's face, make life more easy or pleasurable for them? This is where your thinking needs to be when you're like brainstorming these ideas. Okay. So, number two is you want to prove your market. So, although I do encourage you to follow your passion, it is not advised to go out there and to start something where there is no proof out there in the market that this particular thing could be successful. Now, some people actually do pave the way for us and they go out there and start things kind of like brand new. But you know what? There's nothing really new under the sun. So I'm sure that there's somewhere out there where you can find someone who has an idea, okay, that is similar to yours, where you can kind of prove success in your market. It's going to be extremely important, guys, for you to prove success in your market instead of just jumping out there and just throwing something up and hoping it works. The good thing about there being other successful businesses out there in the world is that they have paved the way for you. So you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to wonder whether or not certain marketing strategies, certain things that they do works when they've already done it and they've already proven the market. So then you can go out there and study those businesses and see what they've done. So you really want to prove your market. You want to follow some similar businesses. You want to sample and try different subscription boxes underneath of the market, within the market that you're interested in. Okay, so please don't start a subscription box business if you have never experienced them. I want you to start sampling subscription boxes from different companies to see whether or not you like them and what is it that you love and don't love so much about them, so that you can be the best at what you do, right? One of the greatest marketplaces, guys, where you can actually go and sample different subscription boxes is Crate Joy. You can go to cratejoy.com. There are hundreds, probably thousands on thousands of boxes out there for you to try within your industry. All you have to do is go to the search bar, guys, and type in the keyword. So if you're looking for people who love painting, type in painting into the search bar, and Crate Joy will pull up different types of subscription box ideas for people who love painting or people who do paint or they're aspiring to be artists or whatever the situation is. Type that into the search bar, guys, and then that will come up. And just to let you guys know, if you're watching in and you're not a subscriber, you're not going to be able to comment. So how you fix that is by subscribing, and you can join our chat feed. Okay. All right. So, number three, join communities within your niche, join communities within your industry. You really, really do have to sort of like know your industry inside and out. So, you want to be joining communities where people who would be interested in your box hang out. This is not necessarily to sell to them, but this is more so to like rub shoulders with them. Hopefully, you're already in those communities. You may learn something that you didn't know before by joining these communities, guys. You may think you know your niche, but you may not actually know your niche. So just to use me as an example, what happened for me, I just thought, y'all, I was just going to get out there and sell me some journals. Okay, I was like, I love to write. I love office stuff. I love cute stuff. I'm very girly. I love journaling. And I just thought I was just going to just sell journals. But once I started actually joining planning communities, do it yourself communities, crafting communities, all the related niches, stationary communities, real journaling communities, I learned that it was a whole nother world, a whole nother world. Okay. out there waiting for me. There was a whole passionate group of people out there waiting for me that I knew nothing about. I thought I was one of the only ones out there that was crazy about this stuff. But I feel like joining communities can be a real eye opener. And 9 times out of 10, there is a community for your industry. If there isn't one, you may want to question your idea, because you want to have an audience that's passionate about your idea. So you want to get out there and find that. So you want to join communities in your niche. So the next step, which is step number 5, is you want to map out your plan. You want to go back to paper again, and you want to map out your plan. So what you want to do is use it like a vision board. And the thinking behind this is, if I was to launch this idea, what would it be like? What would the name be? What would the colors be? What would the whole vibe be? What would the mission statement be? What would my thinking be behind this idea? What type of people would I serve? What are they crazy about? What makes them tick? Where do they hang out? How would I market to them? What are some of the bigger companies that I admire in this industry? Like, you really want to map out, guys, what it looks like. Just have fun with it. Just play with it. Would this be a monthly box? Would this be an experience that and see the order that I'm giving you the steps in is a very strategic order. And I just made my subscription box course public like the other day. So it's down in the description box. If you guys want to check out the course, it's very, very reasonably priced. I want for everybody to be able to learn it if they want to. Inside of that course, guys, I actually have a launch list and a get started list and a checklist where you can really go step by step, even deeper into these 10 steps, and learn what you need to do to get started. Okay, so that's all there for you if you want to check that out. So you really want to map out the full process. What would my box look like? What would be inside? How many items will be inside? Am I going to be like a bi-monthly box or like a quarterly box? Like, why would I be that? Is it reasons why? Where would I pack boxes? Would it be in my home? Do I want to start right out with a fulfillment center? Like, really brainstorm it out. Do like a dream board, put all the visuals up there, all that kind of stuff. So you can really sort of see, guys, what it is that you want to be doing. Okay, so that's going to be the next one, is to map out that plan. And I'm telling you to kind of go in this order, because if you do some of the studying, like for instance, if you sample boxes first, like I suggested in step number 2, you'll have an idea of what you like and don't like, and then you can start to brainstorm. Okay, so there's a reason and rhyme to this order, okay, to this sequence. So that's number 5. No, that's number, y'all, I'm getting these numbers wrong. So that was actually number 4. I'm sorry. My son always gets on me because he edits my videos. He always like, Mom, you said it was going to be 10 steps, but it was like 15 steps, Mom. Please get it in line. Okay, so that was step number 4. So step number 5 is to build an audience. Now, I like to stick this in, and I promise you, probably no other subscription box, how to get started video is going to tell you to do this this early. No one's going to tell you this. I'm pretty sure that no one has told you to do it this early. Now, I like to tell people to build an audience earlier on in the process. And the reason that I like to do that is because, hold on, guys, real quick. Hold on, guys. Sorry, guys, I had to text someone. Okay. So no one's going to stick this in here at this point because no one thinks about it, and a lot of people think about it later. I'm asking you to think about building your audience early. So step number 5 is to build an audience with explanation marks behind it, because one of the biggest questions that I ask some of my clients who come to me because they're disappointed about selling and they're really excited about a new idea that they want to launch into the world, one of the first questions I ask them, guys, is this: who are you going to launch to? So you're planning out your box, you're mapping out your plan, you have everything together, right? But who are you going to launch to? Do you want to launch to crickets? Or do you want to actually launch to real people? And let me tell you, it's not a good feeling to do all of this work and to put money and energy behind your launch. And then when you go live, the big reveal, guess what? No one's there to buy it. No one's even paying attention to what you're doing. So you want to build your audience first. And I know that everybody watching this video is in a different situation. Some of you watching, you already own a store. You've already been selling to people, or maybe you're already a coach or an author or a speaker or a creator of some sort. So you already have a following, which is great, which is great. And so now you want to package your passion together and you want to sell it in the form of a subscription. So people who have an audience, you sort of have a leg up because you have that dialogue, that communication, that relationship going on with your audience where you can sell to them because they know you. So that's easier. If you don't have that, this is an opportunity for you to create that. So in my case, I was going to launch a subscription box like the year before. I had a whole nother idea, but then the pandemic hit. So when the pandemic hit, guys, I decided that, oops, I don't really want to start um this particular type of subscription box. I think I'm going to pivot and do something different. But instead of me just saying, hey world, hey stationary world, here I am, buy from me, instead I started differently. So I started by opening up a stationery store, by slowly adding on products, building my audience, running ads, and sort of selling basic journals, pens, notepads. I started adding on with different stationery materials first. Once I got them passionate about the first idea, then I introduced the box, but I was able to actually take polls and ask questions to the audience that I had built. So I didn't just launch this box to no one. I launched it to people who are already passionate about this idea, were already passionate about what I had to offer. And then I layered in the box in the subscriptions. And so those people were my core first subscribers, guys. So I want you to think about, how am I going to build my audience? Should I go ahead and starting some social media pages, starting to buzz about the box, starting to talk in my audience's language? Because when you launch, one of the worst things that can happen is that you launch to no one. Okay, so that's a very important step. Number 5 is so, so important. Number 6, work out and decide where will you be selling and what will your payment gateway be. Okay, the reason why this is an important step to sort of have together earlier on in the process, the reason why this is important, guys, Lord, it's a lot going on out in front of my house, guys. But the reason why this is important is because you want to know how much different things are going to be costing you. So you want to know, how much is my platform going to cost me to sell on? How much is it going to be for me to sell, and things like that? How much is it going to be for me to use my payment gateway? What are my fees going to be like on my payment gateway? You want to know the answers to those questions, so that you can work out your budgets and stuff like that. So number 7, and I'm real distracted because people are dropping boxes off here. It's a lot going on out front. A lot going out front. So number 7 is to find your suppliers of your products and materials. Okay. You don't want to be going into this just blindsided, not knowing who are going to be your suppliers, not building relationships with them, not talking. You need to start looking for those people, because you need to price things out as well as know who people are. Okay. Because that's also going to help you with your budget and your planning. So number 7 is to find your suppliers of your products and materials. I have videos, guys, where I'm talking about different marketplaces like Tundra and Fair, where you can buy inventory, as well as that information is inside of the course as well. So number 8, and I have to tell you, number 8 is one of the biggest, most important steps that you can take. And that is with your pricing. Okay. You want to make sure that you price everything. Let me be the one to tell you, and I'm almost done, guys, that the subscription box business is one of the hardest businesses that you will ever run, because you do have to really, really pay attention to every single dime that you spend. Every single dime that you spend counts. Every single dime that you spend matters. You have to pay big attention to the dimes, the money that you spend. Let me not keep harping on the dimes because it's a lot more than dimes, but you have to count every red cent. Y'all get what I'm saying? You have to count every penny. Um, so Fancy Empress asks, what is a good profit margin when starting? 30 to 40% or so is a good profit margin in my opinion. And that's what some of my mentors have told me as well, like a 30 to 40% profit margin, around the 40% mark. You want to try to get your profit percentage up there. And you want to base your calculation off of at least 100 or more boxes. I was in a group and a lady was stuck with her numbers, and it was because she was basing her numbers on the amount of subscribers she started out with. That is one of the worst things you can do, and you're going to have the most expensive box ever. What I mean by that, you don't want to base your numbers off of 10 subscribers, which is, let's just say you're trying to start low. You want to base your numbers off of the growth. So 100 or so subscribers. I think my base mine off of 150 subscribers to come up with my pricing. But you have to make sure that your profit is there, because if it's not there, guys, you're going to be in big, 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 big trouble later. I've seen people who have had to shut down the business after working so hard because no matter what they did, they just could not bring the profit in, or they could not raise prices. Like they didn't want to, or they did and it didn't work. Okay, so be really mindful of that. Let's see. So number 9, okay, so number 9 is going to be to stage your box and to test and select your products. So the box that you stage, guys, it doesn't have to be the actual box that you're actually going to be selling. It just needs to be a replica, a representation of what you're selling. You want to stage that box. You want to kind of play around with it. Like, what type of crinkle paper are you going to use? What type of tissue paper are you going to use? Go ahead and print your cards out. Really get good professional images as well, of that staged box, because when you get out there and you start to promote and sell, people are not going to want to just take your word for this great thing that's coming. And people aren't going to want to see any jinky images that you just like Photoshop together. People really need to see a box with stuff in it that's going to get them excited. That's going to be the best way for you to start selling this thing. Okay. So you want to stage that box. You want to get everything inside of it. Okay. That's going to be super important during this stage. Okay. So the staging point is now. And our last step, okay, number 10 is going to be to select your launch date and let it blow. Okay. Now, of course, there are more specifics in these steps. That's why I went ahead and finally just launched the course. The course is below. If you want to click and check it out, you'll have so much of this information right at your fingertips for probably the most reasonable price that you'll find for this information. But this is 10 steps for you to get started. Save this video so that you can reference this video later and check in with it to make sure that you are following the steps. Even if you're just brainstorming right now and you're not sure whether or not this is a business idea that you want, there is so many other things that you need to think about. You can start with getting the information from this channel. But if you're really serious about getting started, definitely check out the course. So if you watch this and you want to comment, be sure to subscribe so that you can leave me some comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts or what your plans are. Definitely share them with me. Thank you so much for those who watched and listened in. I would like to start one, but I'm so scared that you can't keep up with it. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some valid fears with starting any business, really, right? Of course, there are some definite valid. Really? I don't know if you guys. Okay, there we go. Looked like my connection went out for a second. So I understand that, but if this is really a desire of your heart, try out the course so that you can actually get the actual steps. I feel like the more that you know, the better you can do. The more knowledge you have, it increases your chances for success. Okay, guys. So I want you to be blessed. Have an amazing, amazing day. And thanks for hanging out with me. And don't forget to like this video, share it out, and drop me some comments so I know that you guys watched it. Okay. See you guys soon. Bye.